Part 38. Exploring the World, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 371. What is this? What is this? Yeshi's eyes were dazed. He vaguely remembered that the Taishu described by his clone was a bit similar to the thing in front of him. Is that right? He began to doubt his memory. It was no wonder that he felt this way. It was because what was happening in front of him was too outrageous. From the perspective of an explorer who was used to big scenes, all of this was extremely weird. This system, is this thing Taishu? System. Ding, it should be, it seems to be, okay, it is. Ding, yes, it is Taishu. After Yeshi got a positive answer, he fell into a completely weird state. Finally, he asked in a vague tone. So, Tongzi, should you explain it to me? Ding, I don't know what happened. Yeshi, see if you can contact my clone. He is now looking at the Taishu egg in front of him with a weird look. This Taishu egg is just in front of his house, and it is not directly opposite if it is moved away. This makes Yeshi creepy and think of a person's behavior and his face turns pale. Yes, this person is himself. No. Is it really my future body that was summoned? Will my clone summon the future body when it is in danger? Ding, establishing contact with the host's clone, establishing contact, failed to establish contact. Ding, unfortunately, the clone contact failed. After testing, your clone has disappeared, but the corresponding biological composite ore has been detected. The marked ore is now being retrieved. Soon, a pile of restored biological composite ores appeared in front of Yeshi, brand new, as if they were not molded into clones. Yeshi looked at these ores and said, "This practice is really unethical, it's really too similar to me. Tongzi, do you think it is possible that it is my future body that caused these things?" Ding, the system cannot judge, please judge by yourself. What's the use of you? If I can be sure, I won't ask you. Although he said so. Yeshi has an 80% chance that it is his future body. Forget it. But will there really be no problem if this thing is placed in my world? It has also begun to continuously absorb energy from the Kunlun sacred tree, making it impossible for my world to continue to expand. It seems that so much energy is simply not enough. Yeshi threw the idea of his future body behind his head. Looking at this Taishu egg, he reacted instantly. If this continues, all the energy will be absorbed by the other party. This won't work. Yeshi instantly came to the front of the Taishu egg, hesitated for 3 seconds, and reached out to hug the egg. Nothing happened. Yeshi breathed a sigh of relief, and the 80% guess could become 100%. The pressure in his heart disappeared all of a sudden, and then he thought of what he had done before, and he really couldn't help laughing and crying. But the most important thing in front of him is. Yeshi held the Taishu egg and sent it to the top of the Kunlun sacred tree, making a bird's nest for it. Huh, that's all. The wool I'm pulling is the wool of the Kunlun sacred tree, not the wool of my world. Yeshi stayed there for a while, until he saw that the Taishu egg was not absorbing energy downwards, but upwards, and then he left happily. Returning to his own world again. Yeshi wanted to laugh at himself when he thought that he was still in the abyss and had gone down dozens of layers. I was so careful to make so many preparations. The result? Could it be that the future body knew what happened at this time, so he wanted to laugh at himself? It sounds like something I would do. Yeshi pondered for a while, and then thought of this adventure that ran away early and wanted to laugh out loud. However, people on the internet are still worried about him. Although he posted a bullet screen in advance, this live broadcast was too unreasonable, so there were all kinds of speculations. Many people were very worried and kept asking questions under Yeshi's account. Those big guys who left the live broadcast room early were constantly receiving private messages, which annoyed them, but they did not dare to give a definite answer. It was because of this that all the lives in the 10 worlds became very nervous. Where is my brother yet? Where is my God yet? How come he disappeared? Many big guys don't want to say anything. Did they think of something long ago when they left the live broadcast room, but didn't want to remind God yet? If someone reminded God yet, it would definitely not be like this. To be honest, I have reminded him. Get lost, you traitor, go to hell. Has anyone sorted out the series of weird things that have happened since entering the Gamma MY4 planet? Link portal, click to view. My brother yet, please don't be in trouble. Originally, I wanted to pray for you, but I usually pray for you, what should I do? Then you can also pray to brother Yamor. You can rest assured that he is definitely fine. Among these messages, there are all kinds of messages. The most of them are scolding those big guys who left the live broadcast room early, and began to blackmail them morally, saying that if these big guys told Yeshen what they felt, Yeshen would not be in trouble. There are also people sorting out everything that happened in this live broadcast. Until Yeshi clicked on his account and posted a dynamic. It's okay, I just came back alive, I'm in the abyss, and I'm planning to go back to Blue Star. The picture is still the picture of the abyss that Yeshi just took. After this dynamic was released, the 10 worlds including the underworld were all boiling in an instant. It's okay, Yeshen is worthy of being Yeshen. Wait, what does this mean? Is that there is indeed some unknown dangerous thing this time? Don't tell us, we don't want to know, I feel that if I know, I will be in trouble again. I just successfully queued up for reincarnation. You upstairs. Thank you for the invitation, I was reincarnated as a monster. Mengpo didn't have a job at that time. Thank you Yeshen. Yeshi stretched lazily, and then suddenly remembered something. System, have all the resources of the Gamma MY4 planet been taken away? Ding, congratulations to the host, the exploration of the Gamma MY4 planet has reached 100%, and the Gamma MY4 planet has been obtained. There is no Gamma MY4 planet at the location of the source planet. The entire planet has been split up because of Taish's departure. The system has collected all the remaining resources. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the White Bone Dragon Pond. Author, Xuanhuan Pian Hai. Chapter 372. Yeshi heard what the system said, and for some reason he felt a little tired. He really was. Why did he hurriedly run away from the Gamma MY4 planet, and even ran to the bottom of the abyss? What was the result? What happened in the end? Forget it, the exploration of Gamma MY4 is successfully concluded. Although, the flag I set before is indeed. Gamma MY4 is gone again. This time it's not just blown up, but all gone. But this doesn't seem to have anything to do with me. Just as he was thinking about Taishu and Gamma MY4, a blue cat quietly came to Gamma MY4 from the distant sea of stars, cautiously afraid of being discovered. It was full of excitement. Although it didn't know if there were any special racial dangers on this planet, no matter how great the danger was, it couldn't compare to the benefits brought by this planet. That's a vein of top-level ore. I don't think I've encountered such a rich mine in my life. If I miss it now, I'm afraid I'll regret it for hundreds of lifetimes. Hee, little sea god probably doesn't know how precious these things are. Now they all belong to me, they all belong to me. Tomcat wanted to jump up excitedly, as if he saw the scene of his own sudden wealth. Unfortunately, when he followed the coordinates, he found that there was nothing in front of him. Empty, it's empty. Tomcat's entire blue cat face fell into a sluggish state. What happened? Did I go to the wrong place? Ah, where is the planet here? Where is the planet here? A blue cat was motionless in the universe, not daring to believe what he saw in front of him. "Is this?" exploded again. Tomcat stepped forward hesitantly and came to the place where the Gamma My4 planet should be. He touched everywhere, but there was no residue left. Yashi didn't know that he had already collapsed a profiteer. He just let the system release the Gamma My4 planet. Such a big one. Yashi looked at the big planet that was really packed, and after thinking about it, he threw it outside his world. From then on, there was an empty space, and in addition to the sun and the big-eyed angel, there was another planet. This planet is still frozen, but the terrifying cold is gradually disappearing, and it has returned to normal coldness. After finishing all this, Yashi returned to the planet Gamma My4. Yashi also felt it was absurd that he suddenly revisited the old place. Although he often revisited the old place, he didn't expect it to happen so soon this time. Suddenly I remembered that I promised the land god to send him away, now I don't have to spend so much effort. Yashi hurried to the place where the land god was, looking at the land god who was surfing the internet. The land god was still a little confused about what happened in front of him. He didn't know what happened. He checked the internet but became more and more confused. He could only stay where he was and wait for the unknown future. A short and long time passed. While the land god was uneasy, Yashi came back and cut to tell what happened on this planet. Then he gave the land god several choices, such as reclaiming a small piece of land for him, or still following the previous discussion. The land god and the unconscious mountain god finally chose to leave the planet Gamma My4. Yashi sent them to the blue planet and returned to his own world. Reorganize this strange plot of the Gamma My4 planet trip, and finally lie on his big bed. Is it my future body? Under this doubt, Yashi fell asleep. The sun fell. Yashi also woke up, and felt a sense of emptiness when he woke up. So he asked a question on a certain website. What does it feel like to know that you will be invincible in the future? Yashi's ID is so conspicuous, especially after being officially certified, which made this question rush to the top of the hot search list. Let me see who is asking this question. How did Brother Ye suddenly appear in this place? What does it feel like to be invincible in the future? So Brother Ye has seen his future. V50 Let me experience the feeling of invincibility, and I will tell you. Brother Ye, do you have nothing to pursue after discovering that you are invincible? Can you exchange positions with me and let you experience what the world without cheating is like? Yes, your world is too invincible, and you can't feel the malice of the world towards you very well. Come and exchange identities with me, and you won't ask such questions after you feel it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Hai. Chapter 373. Yashi looked at the serious answers below and really wanted to complain. Why are these human beings so malicious? Okay, he admits, maybe he does have a tiny bit of a problem, but really only a tiny bit. Putting aside this question because he was bored, Yashi planned to clean up his increasingly vast and boundless world. Especially since my world is constantly growing and expanding. When you go out to explore on your own, you usually just throw the things you found in there and don't care about anything else. Looking at it this way, I actually have quite a lot going on. Yashi stretched out, got up and fished out Kun, rubbed the big fish, and then released it. He calmed down before looking at his own world. The most important thing to pay attention to in your own world is Teishu. Not being able to see Teishu's state all the time always made Yashi confused. He happened to remember that he picked up a mirror when he was in Fengxian village. This mirror is just right for use here. And my Kylin. There are only 2 eggs in my world, and the results are more outrageous than the other. Yashi took a look at his unicorn eggs and found that with the continuous nourishment of resources, the vitality of the unicorn eggs was being restored. The stone eggs, which were originally in a stony state, have gradually gained the luster of life. When Yashi just put the unicorn egg into the fairy pool pulled out from the Kunlun sacred tree, the egg didn't react at all. It was just soaked by these energy fairy pools. But now, these eggs have begun to absorb external energy. Yashi looked at the scene in front of him and felt a little better. He was even more happy thinking that he could ride a unicorn and explore the universe in the future. Not bad, not bad. Yashi once thought about grabbing some lives from the outside world and putting them in this vast, empty but lifeless world of his own, but he gave up in the end. But now, it seems that because of high-dimensional energy, the energy of different dimensions of the universe is constantly converging in this world, allowing life at the lowest level of this world to begin to appear. Yashi stared at these beings that were either single cells or not, and raised his brows. He just hesitated for a moment, then reached out and wiped out all these new lives. My world does not need to evolve life. Yashi looked at the sky and set such a rule in his world. From then on, in this world that is constantly expanding and evolving, although it has abundant and almost infinite energy, no life native to this world can be born anymore. But Yashi was satisfied. This world is not so much a world as it is just his home. This home can be used to raise pets and place some interesting furniture. But it is absolutely not allowed to become a spirit. Moreover, Yashi has no interest in the evolution of life. He does not want those messy existences to appear in his world. You must know that everything that exists in this world now was put in by Yashi and put in after careful selection. I looked around my world again. Yashi didn't find any problems, but he still set some natural laws, which he continued to intensify, forming an existence that was almost basic rules. Among these heavenly rules and regulations, many are rules set by Taishu. Yashi had an inexplicable feeling that after Taishu came to his own world, this existence that could indirectly or directly cause the fall of heaven no longer had room to grow. To be honest, he really accepted his future body. The rules of the world were finally stipulated. Yashi felt very satisfied, but he sighed for a long time with a trace of life. Yashi was indifferent. It is impossible for him to give the world permission to evolve life autonomously. Or in the future, it will become prohibiting the independent evolution of intelligent life in the world and let it be a little more relaxed. But now, it's better for everyone not to be born. The universe is so big that plans can't keep up with changes. Even if you have become an immortal, you will still be like this. But it's the uncertainty of it all that creates the fun. One glance is omniscient and omnipotent, and everything is determined, so there is no direction or mystery. That's really true for an explorer like me. A torture. Even if you are a heavenly lord, you may not want to know everything, right? Or is it because I still have humanity that I can't understand the thoughts of beings like Tianzun? Yashi organized everything and divided the area into various areas. He even moved the volcano and fairy tale island. Lying here fishing, I suddenly started thinking about the philosophy of life. Tongzi, what do you think? Ding, the existence of Tianzun is that the lines of Tianzun in all worlds, all latitudes, and all universes are unified, but it is not that the lines of all worlds, all latitudes, and all universes are unified. Ding, the sea of stars is extremely vast. Host, you haven't gone to other latitudes and other universes yet, so don't think about omniscience and omnipotence. When Yashi heard the system's words, he couldn't help laughing. He really didn't expect that he would still be taught a lesson by Tongzi. But also, he is now a heavenly immortal, far away from the golden immortal. Yashi didn't want to think about such distant things for the time being. Also, not even the golden immortal has arrived, let alone the Deluo Jinxian and the Xuanhuan Deluo Jinxian in the future. Yashi gradually calmed down because of the thoughts that Taishu had stirred up. Still waters run deep, After catching the pure big fish con again, Yeshi felt bored. He opened the system map and zoomed into the galaxy of the planet Gamma My4. It turned out to be empty and dark. It just so happened that he hadn't been online for a long time and planned to chat with his fans and friends. As a result, he saw the most popular post as soon as he went online. The cat that posted the post was Tomcat, a very popular red cat in his live broadcast room. Tomcat made a painful denunciation and even recorded a video. When Ye opened the video, he saw a blue upright cat standing in front of the empty Gamma My4 planet. I have never seen such a thing in my life. The entire Gamma My4 planet has been moved away. It is even cleaner than being licked by a mouse. I feel ashamed when I think that the little sea god will not blow up this planet. I am so ashamed that I don't even have the face to go out and trade. I am an interstellar businessman, but I didn't see through the disaster star physique of the little sea god. I am so stupid. It's really too stupid. Go to the giant beast planet and blow up the giant beast planet, go to the underworld and flood the underworld, go to the Gamma My4 planet and move the Gamma My4 planet away. Oh my god, how can there be such a thing? Who said the little sea god before? Oh, the big disaster star said that the Gamma My4 planet will blow up. Please contact me, I will send you a plug-in, crying bitterly. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Hai. Chapter 374. Slander. This is pure slander. The beast planet was exploded because of the alien life from the abyss, the underworld was flooded because of the Taoist priest, and the Gamma My4 planet was moved away by the system. What do these things have to do with Yeshi? After watching the video, Yeshi took a look at the copy of Tomcat. He was furious and furious. He typed a row of words to angrily denounce this kind of rumor-mongering. But in the end I gave up. Because everyone in the comment section is filled with gloating, add ones, and sympathy. Yeshi thought about it carefully, deleted all the words he had typed before, and then sent a line. Every second in the universe, 4578645819765 planets die and 99467251664575 planets are reborn, so it has nothing to do with me whether these planets are dead or alive. Then, I must warn you once. The underworld has long been in ruins. Although I flooded the underworld, I did not cause any damage to it. Don't slander me. Thank you. After Yeshi posted the sentence, he was very satisfied and felt that it was impeccable. The result didn't arrive even a second after it was sent out. The first reply below was directly clicked as the most liked. Living King of Hell, well, that's right, that's no loss, that's right. Yeshi. Ha 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 ha. I laughed to death. Thank you brother Ye and Lord Yama for contributing the first hilarious scene today. Two brothers, oh sorry, one brother and one old ghost. If you perform skits on the Spring Festival Gala, no one will turn off the TV. I'm so funny. Brother Yes reply convinced me, but it turned out that the Lord of Hell came from behind, ha 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 ha. What kind of suffering master comes to the door? Brother Ye, what do you want me to say? You flooded the underworld and said it didn't do any harm to the underworld. Now it's better. You've blown up all the masters. By Vuchain, Mr. Fu was so angry that he wanted to jump to hell, but Lao Hei and I finally stopped him. It's not easy. I am God, is the planet Gamma My4 really gone? What kind of planet destroyer? I thought Yeshen was not such a person before. Yeshi was livid when he saw the rapidly rising number of likes, especially when the number of likes reached hundreds of thousands in just 1 minute. Slander, this is definitely slander. Yeshi tried his best to defend himself, but unfortunately no one paid attention to him. Especially since everyone was on the side of the living King of Hell, even kicking the doorframe hesitated. So in order to satisfy these people's wishes, Yeshi specially posted a post, saying that he would randomly choose to go to any of the 10 worlds. For a moment, the entire comment section was as quiet as the autumn wind blowing away fallen leaves. Oh. Yeshi left the internet with satisfaction and began to choose where to explore next. As for what he said, choose one of the 10 worlds to explore. How to put it, he didn't want to blow up his audience just yet, so of course it was just a joke. So which world should I go to later? The system also gave me the contact information of heaven and abyss. Yeshi knocked on the fishing rod, wondering if he wanted to go to the abyss or heaven. Or are you talking about going to other latitudes? Because there were too many choices, Yeshi fell into a state of confusion, but this confusion did not last long. When in doubt, just roll the dice. It's been a long time since I chose a world to explore. Dang dang dang. The dice keeps shaking. Yeshi settled the dice with a snap. Wait until you open it and take a look. Yeshi's expression was slightly surprised. Ah, this place. Other, latitude. Yeshi looked at the final answer and snapped his fingers. Good. 8 heavenly dragons, dragon latitudes. But the dragons in this latitude that belong exclusively to dragons seem to be different from my little Elang. Yeshi thought about it for a while, and then asked the system to compile the information into a book and gave it to him. Sure enough, the dragons among the 8 celestial dragons are more inclined to the python. If I want to go, I have to take the little Elang and the big Elang with me. I don't know how these two will react when they see those big pythons who call themselves dragons. Yeshi smiled and said. After all this time, I only saw a real dragon here in Blue Star. This thing must not be a specialty of Blue Star. Thinking of Elang, Yeshi thought of what happened before, which made him a little confused. It's a pity that the inheritance of these 2 dragons is not very complete. One spends the whole day climbing trees, the other looks at the heaven all the time, and can't ask anything. No matter what myth or legend it is, the relationship between heaven and dragons is inseparable. The first thing I saw at the beginning was the little Elang. As a result, half of Heavenly Court's doubts have been solved, but none of the questions about Elang have been solved. Yeshi walked over and touched the little Elang's horns. He thought of what he had seen in Atlantis. That ancient civilization in Atlantis also once had real dragons. Looking at it this way, no wonder the exploration level of the entire Blue Star is only 1% or 2%, which is such a small exaggeration. Just the Bone Dragon Pond, and some unknown things hidden in Atlantis. I don't even know the answers now. I don't know why the snake god fell to this place. Did he die as soon as he fell? Thinking of this, Yeshi wanted to laugh. The ancient god was killed by falling. This was too exaggerated. Then, in the records of the disappeared city of Eluhe City, the snake god was killed by falling. It used an obscure method, but it was indeed recorded that he was killed by falling. This statement is not to mention that ordinary people don't believe it. How can those believers of the snake god believe it? But they wrote it down like this. Noah who repaired the sky, the great flood that submerged Atlantis, the real dragon, the gods, the 5-color altar. After thousands of sales, it was found that all the roots of the problems are all on the blue planet. It's not like other planets have been explored, all the questions are really solved. Yeshi stretched lazily. And Zheng Ji who took a spaceship to go outside. The water on the blue planet is really deep. I want to go to the blue planet to see what happened on the blue planet recently while preparing for the expedition. Thinking of this, Yeshi prepared to do it. It just so happened that the Earth God had been placed on Blue Star. When the time came, Yeshi planned to take a good look at the current Blue Star with the Earth God and the gradually recovering Mountain God. Before, he had only schemed over Blue Star, but now he was ready to see if all the demons, ghosts, gods, and monsters would come out after the spiritual energy revived and Blue Star was upgraded. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the White Bone Dragon Pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 375. The white clouds are flowing, reflecting the rays of light, and the golden crow is still sleeping in ignorance. The clouds are rising, the sky is cracking. The frost on the newly moved planet outside is beginning to thaw. White Tiger was lying in the outer space of Yeshi's world, showing off his big muscles, and suddenly had the idea of returning to the planet of behemoths. As the saying goes, if wealth does not return to its hometown, it is like walking at night in brocade clothes. Bai Hu boasts that he has far surpassed Suzaku, and now that he sees that Suzaku, he will definitely beat the opponent into pieces. Just when it is happily dreaming about its future. Changes are also taking place on the planet of beasts. Originally it would take a long time for this planet to take shape, but now because of Suzaku, everything on this planet is accelerating. The weapon began to control its own destiny. Suzaku occasionally thought about the human who blew up his home planet. When he didn't know what to do, he went to beat up the Titans, and then looked at the direction Yeshi left and continued to think about when he would be as powerful as him. Yeshi returned to Blue Star with Tu Gong. It was fine at the beginning. However, as the time spent walking among the blue stars became longer and longer, the Earth God and the Mountain God who had regained consciousness became more and more surprised. "This is Dongsheng China. The Mountain God said so. The sun in the sky twinkles and falls on the ground, shining beautiful light. Pedestrians on the ground were crowded with each other, wearing different clothes. It looked like different dynasties were living together." Yeshi was startled and heard the Earth God shake his head again. "That's not right. Although this place is very similar to Dongsheng China, the origin of the land is completely different." "Yeshi. We will talk about these later. Anyway, this planet has a great relationship with heaven. Now I want to find some traces of the ancient blue star, including traces of Nuwa, Heshuluotu, and the Yellow Emperor. These existences that Yesian mentioned should be carefully explored, but when the little god looks at this world, the time in this world does not seem to be right. These legends you mentioned were heard as early as when the little god was still a solitary wild Zen. However, according to what Yesian said, it seems that only 1,000 years have passed. 10,000 years. With all due respect, God, this is impossible." Yeshi wore a Taoist robe and had long hair tied into a Taoist crown. Next to him is an old man half a man tall, and a monster with the head of a human and the body of a snake. It seems like a very weird combination. In the past, sooner or later, people would be called to the police and arrested, but now it is common for many people to do so, especially when it comes to things like the head of a human and the body of a snake. Speaking of this matter, we have to talk about Kunlun. While still exploring the ancient city of Jingzhou, a certain clan tried to help Queen Jingzhou achieve immortality, and sent her the treasure of immortality, and even the bronze divine sword left in the abyss. Rather than exploring the ancient city of Jingzhou, it is better to say that we are following the traces left by that mysterious clan. That clan is from Kunlun. Bronze divine sword, this is a treasure given to Queen Jingzhou by a mysterious clan from Kunlun. The bronze color of the entire body is completely traceless. It is an imitation of the ancient divine sword Chunjun. The sharpness of the sword is unmatched. Only those who have opened the divine treasure in their body can use it. Yeshi thought deeply about these introductions to the system, and then thought about the fact that the entire human world has become accustomed to creatures with human heads and snake bodies. Kunlun. I thought I'd explored so many places, but I hadn't even been to Kunlun. More than that, Qinling Mountains, Qinbei Mountain, Shenangjia. There are too many to count. Ding, these places were still very dangerous before the latitude ascended. It is not recommended for the previous hosts to explore, but it is possible now. Ding, the host is still asked to exercise caution when exploring Kunlun. If the host chooses to go to Kunlun, please pay attention to everything. Yeshi raised his eyebrows, but did not continue to focus on this because he heard what the Earth God said. Yes Yen, the little god just took a rough look at this planet, but he felt that nothing was right about this planet. I wonder if Yes Yen also feels this way. It looks like it is full of vitality, but in fact, all this vitality is in the interlayer, and what is exposed outside. Oh, the little god doesn't know what to say. Mountain god, come here. The mountain god glanced at Yeshi. There are many projections on this planet, and many of the lives exposed outside are not real lives, but just high-dimensional projections. Yeshi frowned. I thought before that blue stars are many different blue stars overlapping with different latitudes, but I really didn't expect high-dimensional projection. He thought for a while and asked. Then am I a projection? The mountain god shook his head hard. No, you don't seem to have high dimensions. After saying this, the mountain god and the earth god were shocked, because these words were actually denying Yeshi. High dimensions look down on low latitudes. In this way, Yeshi has always been just an NPC in the eyes of others. This is because they don't know that Yeshi's future body is already unique. He not only does not have a high-dimensional body, nor a low-dimensional body, he only has one god. However, the current Yeshi, in a sense, is indeed just an NPC in the book in Gao Wei's eyes. Yeshi was non-committal to Tu Gong's words and didn't care very much. He asked them to continue talking. What else? He really found that having a treasure in the family is like having an old man, not to mention that there are two treasures. In terms of strength, he is indeed far inferior to Yeshi, but the one they saw was far better than Yeshi. Now he is heading towards a place with fewer and fewer people. Yes Yen, if you want to trace those existences, you can go to Kunlun, Buzhu, or Taishan to have a look. You don't have to call me Yes Yen, just call me Yeshi. I know Kunlun, but I only heard the name of Buzhu Mountain so far, but what's the problem with Taishan? You should be able to communicate with the Lord of Taishan Mansion, he has always existed. Yeshi nodded, and then was stunned again. What did you say, Lord of Taishan Mansion? What is the relationship between the underworld and the Lord of Taishan Mansion? Hey, are you not familiar with the system of the heavenly court? The Lord of Taishan Mansion governs the underworld. Yeshi was silent for a while and then opened the live broadcast room, and specially mentioned the living king of hell in the barrage. What about the king of hell? What is the relationship between the king of hell and the Lord of Taishan Mansion? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 376. A position to help manage. Later, the Lord of Mount Tai was the god who actually managed ghosts. But he didn't care much about these things in the mortal world, so he divided all the divine duties. Even after the fall of heaven, we can still contact the Lord of Mount Tai. I was able to survive because of communicating with the Lord of Mount Tai. Yeshi muttered in his heart. Why did you say such important information only now? It seems that the god of land was able to make the shrine because of this matter. I said that the god of land could make such advanced craftsmanship, which is comparable to the heavenly craftsmanship in my world. So the Lord of Mount Tai watched the fall of heaven. The god of land nodded honestly. Yes, heaven can only command those who have been canonized as gods, but there is no way to command these innate gods. Many innate gods did not appear when heaven fell. The god of land was silent for a while. Some appeared, but they just helped to destroy heaven. Yeshi just wanted to say that your circle is really messy. Although it was expected, After hearing the clear information, it was more certain. The heavenly palace was destroyed by the stone of granting all wishes, and also by internal enemies. The sword of immortal execution stuck on the south gate of heavenly palace. Yeshi did not lose his memory. Then let's go to Mount Tai. Speaking of which, with the ascension of the blue planet, many legendary creatures have appeared. Especially those extinct creatures in the classic of mountains and seas. Zilong. Yeshi stopped when passing a mountain and looked at the Zilong circling a newly appeared mountain. This Zilong can only be seen by opening the heavenly eye, and Yeshi can only see a layer of spiritual light. Zilong, where is Zilong? Why can't I see it? Only idiots can't see where the candle dragon is. You redoing this again, right? This time I admit that I'm an idiot. Why did Brother Ye suddenly start live streaming? I thought Brother Ye would start it in 10 days or half a month. At Living King of Hell, I'm calling you, just to bury you. Living King of Hell, climb, 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 all of you crawl. White Impermanence, we're working overtime, wait for us. When Yeshi saw these comments, he couldn't help laughing out loud. But after taking a last look at this candle dragon, which hadn't completely descended in this world, he left. What will Blue Star look like in the future? Perhaps only heaven knows. Yeshi now has a guess about Blue Star. Blue Star is likely to be the main fragment of heaven, and heaven should include 4 continents. The Mount Tai is in front of me. I haven't walked on Blue Star for such a long time. I used to come and go in a hurry. Although I know that Blue Star has changed a lot, I still have only a vague memory of those mythical creatures. But now I find that these lives are about to come to Blue Star. Including the descendants of Kunlun with a human head and a snake body who have a close relationship with the Queen Mother of the West. And those in the classic of mountains and seas. I don't know what I will encounter when I go to Mount Tai this time. Yeshi said and looked at the live broadcast room. Now I really want to say that if I haven't been to other places, I have really been to Mount Tai. Even after the world has changed, I have been to Mount Tai and didn't find any problems at all. I searched and found that the Lord of Mount Tai is the mountain god of Mount Tai and has the ability to control ghosts. Why haven't I heard of this god before? Because you haven't read enough books. Yeshi has already stood at the foot of Mount Tai. It should be said that after he started the live broadcast, there was a very useful effect. That is, Mount Tai has been completely cleared. It can only be said that professionals do professional things, and Longguo is really good in this aspect. Anyway, except for that accident, when I met the official personnel of Longguo, I have never met them at other times, not even a single person. And Lao Hu and his people, they are no longer doing research, tomb robbing, and have changed to cultivation. They are now on the back of the moon and the base on Mars. Nature is full of wonders. Yin and Yang divide the day and night. I will climb to the top and look down on all the other mountains. This poem really describes the grandeur of Mount Tai very well. Yeshi stood at the foot of the mountain. But can someone explain to me why Mount Tai has become so high? It's not just higher, right? It's also much bigger. Living King of Hell, yes, why? I'm your fat uncle, to be honest, old yeah, this place was quite normal before. Golden Hair Shell, indeed, I went there a few days ago, specifically for the purpose of worship, and it doesn't look any different from before. So, is this the change that happened after the clearing? Bird of good news, how bold, are you implying Yeshen? Not the connotation, but the meaning, thank you. The mountain is lush and green. Mount Tai is extremely tall, and you can't see the end at a glance. It can be compared with Mount Everest. The mountains on both sides are endless. People who don't know would think they have come to the Himalayas. The peaks are heavy, and there are bursts of bells and fairy music on them. It seems that you can even hear the sound of chanting. What's more outrageous is that Mount Tai is full of ghosts. When a living person climbs the mountain, it looks like the gate of hell is wide open, which is both solemn and weird. Here comes a boss and explains to me what is going on here. Kicks the door frame. Why does this need to be explained? Isn't this obvious? Lord Taishan felt Yeshen's arrival, and the real Taishan appeared. Nameless, it's time to take some time to go to the underworld. Wait for me as I deal with the thunder in front of you immediately. The road on the ground is very simple, completely different from the concrete stone steps and bluestone slabs. It looks like it has just been dug out of the ground, with a strong smell of decay. Although those trees look lush and green at first glance, if you look closely, you will find that they are not green, but somewhere between green and gray. Even the color of the mountains is like this, gray. The lights on the mountain had no source at all. They were lit out of thin air and shone on Yeshi's face, turning him into a ghost. The clouds are shrouded. Bursts of ghostly sounds. These disembodied ghosts came over and smiled at Yeshi, then passed through his body and disappeared. The strangers held their hands towards Yeshi from a distance and walked towards the mountain. If you look carefully, you will know that ghosts go down and strangers go up. And Yeshi is also going up now. MMP, it was never this scary when I went to the underworld. I had suspected before that every time Brother Ye went to a place different from ours. Now I found out that it was indeed different. No one should know that I went to Mount Tai just the day before yesterday. This is really a ghost. Alegio, fortunately it was emptied, otherwise something might have happened again. Yang Xuanhuan, this is just because Yeshen's strength is much greater than ours. For them, we can have different environments in the same place. Mr. Taishan Mansion. What do you want to do with such a big battle? I'm just an immortal now, so I shouldn't reach this level, right? Mr. Taishan Mansion. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 377. Yeshi thought for a while and looked at Mount Tai in the distance. That Mount Tai where yin and yang really cut off the dusk. Half of Mount Tai is under the sun and half is in darkness. The dim light drowns everything. Looking at these, Yeshi then looked at the camera, opened his mouth and said, "There is an old saying in the Dragon Kingdom. 36 strategies, walking is the best strategy. Beauty trap. The number of days is no match for magical power. I am your dad. Yeshi." Ding, Kraken announcement, this account has been banned for 7 days, please be careful in your words and deeds. Everyone who comes to celebrate the new year is here, and they are still children, and everyone is dead. No, I said it wrong. Yeshi smiled and took back the joke. There is an old saying in the Dragon Kingdom, don't think so much, do it first and then talk about it. So, let's go to Mount Tai first and see what's special about this transformed Mount Tai. When soldiers come to block it, water comes and earth comes to cover it. Yeshi thought about it for a while and found it very cool. However, the two landowners and mountain gods refused to go up even if they were beaten to death. Many people who saw it laughed loudly and said that this was just like me. If it were them, they would not dare to go. I am now thousands of miles away from Mount Tai, and I am here to cheer for Yeshen. You have the nerve to say that after such a long distance, I am cheering for you in Iceland. I am in Baidu. I, Xiongdi. I, Xiwei. I. Yeshi really discovered that the nearest ones sending barrages were thousands of miles away, and those hundreds of miles away didn't make a sound. This is really a good fan of mine. After Yeshi stepped onto the first stone step of Mount Tai, he let out this sigh. And after he stepped onto the first step of Mount Tai, the entire Mount Tai scene was completely different from before. Taishan, where yin and yang were originally confused, where living people and ghosts lived together, suddenly became the Taishan in everyone's impression. It seems that Lord Taishan is really welcoming me. It's a pity that this time I came alone to explore. Neither the earth god nor the mountain god wanted to come in. Kick the door frame, no one dares to do that. Ha 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 ha. Your laughter was so loud that it hit my ears. Yang Xuanhuan, sometimes the truth is like this. Yeshi. You really have too many misunderstandings about me. I have to correct you. Although most of the places I go to are dangerous, they are not that dangerous. You can definitely explore with me. Also, this Lord Taishan is very friendly to us. For example, the White Bone Dragon Pond, see if it is not dangerous at all. There is also the ancient city of Jingzhou. Even a fat man can go in and come out unscathed. The fat man came out unscathed, but it has nothing to do with him. Zhang Tianqi, I just rushed to Mount Tai to see Mr. Fu. Now I am seriously injured and dying. Someone come and save me. Yeshi. Is it necessary? Is it necessary to pretend like this and then tear me down? He really didn't believe it anymore. He didn't expect Zhang Tianqi, who had thick eyebrows and big eyes, and had lived in Fengxian village for thousands of years, and was almost dead, to be involved in this kind of thing. So he was on the steps, looking into the distance. There was no one in the vast expanse, and all the people in those urban buildings had been evacuated. It looked like a dead ghost town, an empty city. In a place about a few kilometers away from Mount Tai. A bloody corpse fell to the ground, with a slightly heaving chest indicating that the person was not completely dead yet. Of course, this scene was also broadcast live following Yeshi's gaze. Yeshi. I'm really about to die. Why did you find time to post a barrage when you were about to die? Yeshi immediately cut off the live broadcast and looked at Taishan again. We don't need to pay attention to unimportant things, let's continue climbing now. Laughing, Tianqi Zhang, I really tied Q. Aolego, don't worry, someone has already rushed to save people. If you are about to die, posting barrages in this live broadcast room is indeed the most useful first aid method. If you really die, you can still let the Lord of Hell or Yeshen come and help. Even if you are seducing the soul, you can seize it faster. You are so kind, I am so moved that I almost shed tears. Yeshi quickly walked up the mountainside. However, there are many shrines of various forms on the mountainside here. Most of these shrines are empty, and only a few have gods living there. Yeshi got closer to see the shrines, and asked the system to zoom in the live broadcast lens infinitely. Those who were close could see the divine patterns engraved on these shrines. Then I saw Yeshi pointing to a newer shrine placed outside and said, "The god here seems familiar. Is he the Lord of Hell?" Yeshi's tone was slightly provocative and his words were joking, but these words made everyone lie down in front of the screen and watch. At Living Hell King. By the way, how does Brother Ye know what the Lord of Hell looks like? Kick the door frame, please click on the translation function in the live broadcast room if you are stupid, thank you, carrot oh carrot. By Vuchain, sorry, the King of Hell was just fished out of the Yellow Springs River, so he probably can't speak for himself. Yeshi raised his eyebrows when he saw this comment. Then he reached out and touched the god in the shrine. Hey, King of Hell, is that you? I've never seen such a mean Yeshen before. This incident tells us not to offend a powerful explorer, otherwise you don't know when your ancestors or yourself will be dug out. Yeshi also reached out and touched the statue in the shrine for a few times, and even took the statue out, and then began to look at it with a magnifying glass. Exquisite workmanship, good style, not bad. It looks like the statue of the King of Hell. Puff. A faint sneer could be heard in Taishan, but only a few people could catch this sound. Of course Yeshi caught it, but he didn't look for it, but continued to play with the King of Hell in his hand. And let the camera zoom in on every detail. Yes, every detail. Living King of Hell, I admit defeat, it's me, put me in quickly, don't take me out, I was wrong, Next time you come to the underworld, I will definitely not run away, let you see me carefully. I'm going crazy, but if I were to be treated like this, I would also go crazy. Didn't you say before that you were bathing in the underworld? Yeshi shrugged his shoulders and put the statue back into the shrine. Since the king of hell said so, then I will continue to walk. Come, let's see what other gods are in these shrines. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Pianhai. Chapter 378. Yeshi let the king of hell go, in fact, he just wanted to tease him. After all, when these shrines appeared in front of him, he knew that the statues in the shrines were the true bodies of the gods in the first part. I didn't expect the other party to fall to his knees so quickly. In fact, the gods in these shrines are all gods from the underworld. They should be the authority of the Lord of Mount Tai, and then displayed here. In each shrine, the statue represents a priesthood. Everyone sees so many empty shrines, and they know to what extent the underworld has withered now. Yeshi explained the problem. Unclear but powerful. It's actually easy to understand, just like what the earth god said. The Lord of Mount Tai is a true innate god. He is born with the authority to manage ghosts, but he doesn't want to manage these ghosts, so he divides his authority and becomes a priesthood. The boss above has identified it without a doubt. This kind of thing appeared halfway up the mountain. Will the true body of the Lord of Mount Tai appear when we really reach the top of the mountain? I wonder, will he be willing to be broadcast live for us to see? I am God, the Lord does not care. Brothers and sisters, I have always wanted to ask you, is he really a god? Tais Hanglajun, yes. Regarding the quarrel in the live broadcast room, what is the meaning of the name ID? Yeshi no longer pays attention to it. He now feels like he is walking in the underworld. This strong yin energy is more than 100 times heavier. Although it is also yin energy, the yin energy here has a feeling of confusion between yin and yang, and chaos. Yeshi's body is absorbing and decomposing these energies. This is a very advanced energy. He feels that his strength is slowly increasing. These yin energies are constantly raising his strength. Yeshi smiled and said nothing. But he rejected all those energies. Not only that, he also restored all the energy that had been refined in his body and returned it. He didn't lack this energy, even if it was hundreds of times more, he wouldn't need it. But for a normal celestial being, this was already a terrifying high-quality energy. This was an adventure that could turn a celestial being into a golden celestial being. Yeshi refused the temptation to become a golden celestial being right away. The realm was the least of his concern. He suspected that even if he had just come here and was still a mortal, he would be saved by his future self if he encountered irresistible danger. Yeshi smiled and continued to climb the mountain, and the quality of the energy around him became higher and higher. The energy now was higher and larger than the highest level of energy absorbed by the Kunlun sacred tree. It was almost endless and immeasurable, allowing mortals to become immortals, gods, and obtain the power of creation, which poured into Yeshi's body. Yeshi refused, but found that a gentle force made it impossible for him to refuse. It wasn't a big problem. Yeshi directly manifested the Kunlun sacred tree behind him, which made many viewers who were watching Yeshi climbing the mountain look a little confused. What happened? Did something I didn't know happen again? No doubt, no doubt. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Will the two fight later? Wyoming, fight, how dare you say that, Lord Taishan, who can beat this? This is the real innate god, even Yeshi, well, I don't know. Tomcat, little sea god, you can take me with you on your next adventure. I also want to trade with Lord Taishan, he has a lot of good things. Love you, Blue Cat. Yeshi glanced at the live broadcast room. Ding, Kraken announcement, Tomcat ID has been banned for 7 hours, please be careful with your words and actions. Cool. Yeshi's mood suddenly became happy, and he didn't absorb even a little bit of the endless energy into his body, and fed it all to the Kunlun sacred tree. Anyway, the Kunlun sacred tree absorbs energy from different dimensions every day, and if something went wrong, it would have happened earlier. Yeshi was very happy, and the Kunlun sacred tree was also very happy to absorb it. The result was just like this: 1 minute later, all the energy stopped abruptly. Yeshi didn't care. His Kunlun tree phantom was still behind him and didn't move away. He was still thinking about letting the Kunlun tree grow up. If that didn't work, he would throw back a few energy pools stored on the Kunlun tree. Anyway, Yeshi was sure that the Kunlun tree would not dare to touch a single cent of such high-level energy and hoarded it all. Unexpectedly, when he wanted to continue, the other side was unwilling to do it. But it doesn't matter. What exactly does the Lord of Mount Tai want to do? Send such a big gift right at the beginning. Including the shrines halfway up the mountain, each shrine represents an authority. The shrines were placed there and appeared in front of Yeshi, which only meant one thing: free use. The Lord of Mount Tai gave all these authorities to Yeshi, and he could even get them all. But Yeshi just tossed the living king of hell for a while, and explained it to the audience by the way, and didn't continue. So many gifts one after another. What on earth is there in me that is worth the other party's bet? It shouldn't be my future body, because at most it can't sense my future. If Master Taishan really could spy on my future, he wouldn't be here anymore. So, is it for what I have on me? Yeshi thought deeply for a while, but still had a standard smile on his face. When he walked through a place and saw those novel gadgets, he would explain them to netizens. Quotes from scriptures, at your fingertips. These netizens didn't notice anything unusual about him at all. Walking from the middle of the mountain to the top of the mountain. It didn't take long. However, he had experienced the most temptations in history, which made Yeshi have the idea of robbing the other party. Many of the trees I wanted have appeared. Yeshi recalled the trees, hibiscus trees, ginseng fruit trees, and peach trees that had appeared in front of him before. Yeshi's mouth watered as he looked at them. These trees appeared shortly after the Kunlun sacred tree appeared behind Yeshi. Taishan Mansion Lord's thoughts are clearly revealed. Yeshi didn't take anything. I could only bear the pain and walked over with a distressed look on my face, thinking that when I became stronger, I would come here to explore the entire Mount Tai. Take nothing. All the energy was given to the Kunlun sacred tree. Yeshi's hands and body were empty, with nothing. The top of Mount Tai. A being keeps looking down. From the beginning to now, his eyes have never moved away. Countless different treasures were thrown down the mountain. But not a single treasure was taken. Well. A sigh. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Hai. Chapter 379. The blue sky is so vast that when you look up, it doesn't feel like you're looking at the sky of blue stars, but like you're looking at the stars in the universe. But when we look closely, we find that it is not the universe, but the reflected underworld. The white clouds have been empty for thousands of years, and Mount Tai seems to have existed forever. Yeshi still ignored all the temptations that appeared on his mountain climbing road and climbed the mountain with ease. Sometimes he would chat with netizens in the live broadcast room. Although he didn't know that there was always a gaze watching him from the top of Mount Tai. But it was also expected. So when I walked to the top of Mount Tai and saw the existence with half of its body hanging in the air and sitting cross-legged on the white clouds, I was just surprised at the beginning and then calmed down. Seeing the Mosasaurus swimming, I felt a deep spiritual consciousness. The thick earth and the majestic yin-chi appeared in the same being, like the statues in the temple, like the spring bamboo shoots on the ground. However, the most impressive thing is the heaviness that surrounds him. It is far more than thousands of times better than Tudong, but it still has a hint of the same origin. Yeshi understood who this revered god was when he saw him. So he stretched out his hand to indicate. I've met Mr. Taishan Mansion. He saw Mr. Taishan Mansion, but other netizens in the live broadcast room only saw an empty space. Where is Mr. Heifu? Why don't I see anything? I saw a vast expanse. Does that represent Mr. Taishan Mansion, expressing the tangible through the intangible? Taishang Lejun, of course not. Taishan Mansion Lord is right in front of you, but ordinary people can't see it. Announcement bird, haha, the same emperor's new clothes will come again for the third time, right? Let me tell you, I don't. Oh, it turns out to be Lejun, I believe it, I just farted, I'm sorry. The appearance of Taishan Mansion Lord is not that of a human being. It just means that from Yeshi's current gaze, it looks like a human form. The key here is similar to the image of Tom as a cat, becoming his image in your eyes. The white clouds tremble slightly, the pine leaves rustle. He nodded slightly and gave his own reply to Yeshi's greetings, as if the earth was saying hello to Yeshi. After saying hello, Lord Taishan looked at Yeshi and asked his question. You didn't take anything from me along the way. Why? Netizens in the live broadcast room only saw Yeshi standing there, with the green hills and trees in front of him still there, but there was no trace of Taishan Mansion Lord. He just raised his hands in front of him. Then he looked at Yeshi, who seemed to be talking, but couldn't hear the voice, and couldn't see clearly the shape of his mouth. He could only stare at the screen anxiously, and then ask the ultimate bosses who appeared in the live broadcast room. Yeshi smiled slightly when he heard this. Why take it? I just don't want to take it now. I will take it when I want to take it. When Lord Taishan heard this, he seemed to smile, and then nodded. Understood. With your current age and current level of cultivation, it's only right to be a little arrogant and complacent. Young people are always like this. Even if you meet the Heavenly Lord, you still don't know how high the sky is and how thick the earth is. Taishan Fijun's voice was like the thick mountains and rivers speaking, and soft like the wind. His eyes were fixed on Yeshi. Some people don't know how high the sky is, but some people just want to know how high the sky is, so they don't know how high the sky is. I saw your past, but I couldn't see your future. I only saw thousands of things happening at the same time. You can indeed take these things by yourself in the future. You come this time, I want to make a deal with you. Lord Taishan did not move, but his figure suddenly walked down from the white clouds. Then he stood under a pine tree that was thousands of years old. A pine cone fell and he picked it up and held it in his hand. Yeshi looked at the picture in front of him and nodded thoughtfully. He couldn't see anything on the surface, but he just thought in his heart. Thousands of things happening at the same time. That means he can't see my future. But what does he say he sees about my past? Tongzi. Ding, the host's previous life detected by the other party is the host's previous life. Hearing these words, Yeshi really wanted to hit someone. What does it mean to listen to your words? But before fighting Tongzi, Yeshi thought of a meaning represented by these words. Just right. Not long after Taishan Fijun finished speaking, he immediately added another sentence. Maybe you don't think you need to trade with me. But maybe that's not the case. I know you are not from this world. I have seen everything you can't see, including the past life you thought you had. Aren't you confused about why you came to this world, and why you encountered these things when you came to this world? He has a clear breeze and bright moon, a master of Taoism, an immortal spirit, and an otherworldly appearance. Every word in his tone seems to have other hidden meanings. I can answer all your questions for you. As long as you want to know. I can answer you for anything in the whole world. Yeshi. He was silent for a while, blinked, and didn't know how to speak. He wanted to say that he had solved most of the problems in his previous life by himself, and he didn't want to ask others at all. To be honest, it's a little too hurtful, but if he doesn't tell the truth and looks at the other person looking so complacent, yes, she really wants to let the other person know the truth and what will happen next. But when you go out, the most important thing is to be able to get along. The world is not just about fighting and killing, but also about being humane. A very important thing. He can't beat this Taishan Mansion Lord now, so he doesn't plan to provoke this Taishan Mansion Lord. So Yeshi remained silent for a while, ignored the topic he mentioned, and asked, "What do you want to trade?" Taishan Mansion Lord was free and waiting for Yeshi to raise his questions or requests, but after hearing these words, he was shocked. He did not expect that this time it would go so smoothly. He was very proud of himself, feeling that he had grasped what he needed to grasp most. Faced with Yeshi's inquiry, Taishan Prefecture Lord did not hide it but said directly, "I want the egg you got from Gamma My4. He smiled and said to Yeshi, "After you left, I went to Gamma My4, but I didn't see this egg. I guess you took it away. If you have any questions or requests, please feel free to ask me. If you have any other requests, please ask me. I can answer your questions and will help you fulfill all your wishes." Yeshi. One thing to say, one thing to say. Now if something happens later, it really won't be his problem, right? Although the previous exchange was completely incorrect, it was considered friendly. But when Mr. Taishan mentioned Taishu, Yeshi's vigilance was suddenly raised to the highest level. On the surface, he didn't reveal anything at all. He just asked questions one after another. "Oh. Then what is the egg you want? Why do you want this egg? Why is the immortal killing sword of Lingbao Tianzun inserted on the Nantian gate of heaven? What is the relationship between the abyss and heaven? What is the reason for the fall of heaven?" As Yeshi asked one question after another, Mr. Taishan Mansion's slightly joyful face completely stiffened. Tai Shanglajun, ha 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 ha. Although I don't know what happened, seeing the boss smiling so happily should be a good thing, right? I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but Brother Ye must not be the one who suffers. What do you think? Brother Ye is definitely not at a disadvantage. You might as well think about yourselves. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 380. Yeshi's words were spoken so unhurriedly, and each sentence was so conspicuous that the big bosses who could see and hear the scene laughed. Because of these problems, the big guys who were watching the show now began to explain on the platform and the barrage, and also explain the scenes in front of them in detail. Thanks to these enthusiastic barrage friends, many confused friends who watched the live broadcast finally had a little understanding and understood what happened. 6. My brother, yeah, you know that the person in front of you is the Lord of Taishan Mansion, right? Ranyun is me. Is there a possibility that this Lord of Taishan Mansion doesn't know that the person standing in front of him is Yesheni? There is a saying, it is indeed like this. Living King of Hell, you were not like this before, why is it my turn to be like this? But Yeshi is not like this, heaven is unfair. Ding, Kraken announces, Netizen ID Living King of Hell has been banned for 7 hours. Please be careful in your words and deeds and be civilized online. The pine cone held by Lord Taishan disappeared silently, and the sky seemed to dim suddenly. He was silent for a while, and finally chose to say these words. Change some questions. Yeshi almost forgot that he couldn't beat the Taishan Mansion Lord in front of him. Didn't you say that you can get an explanation for any question you ask? You can at least answer a question he raised. If it weren't for the impression points he had accumulated before, too many treasures, Yeshi would have wanted to be a little bit weird, but in the end he changed the question. Okay, then how did the underworld become like this? When Lord Taishan heard this, he suddenly felt that the person in front of him was a little stupid. He had reminded him so clearly before, but after thinking about it, he was more considerate of this kind of mortal, so he looked at Yeshi and said, "I can tell you about this matter, but it has nothing to do with you. You should not pay attention to these things that are not important to you. You should not ask yourself why you came to this world and why there are magical things in your mind." Yeshi raised his head and looked at such a long sentence. In the end, not a single piece of information was missed. He sincerely admired his speaking skills. "What you said? Really nothing interesting. So why did the underworld become like this?" Lord Taishan was silent for a while. He was torn between wanting to say something and not wanting to say it. Finally, after much thought, he realized that there was really no need to tell this matter to a little immortal, a mortal who had just become an immortal. So he changed the subject very bluntly. In fact, things in the underworld have a great relationship with the abyss and heaven. Sometimes, knowing too much is not good for a person. Yeshi, I'm not a human being. Unknown. Ha 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 Haja today's first laugh. I am God, I am laughing to death. Jong Baron, the prince is indeed still the same as before, and of course, so is the anchor. Yeshi looked at Taishan Mansion Master's sudden feeling of depression and helplessly shrugged his shoulders. I'm serious. I have become an immortal. Yeshi rubbed his brow. Since he couldn't get any wool from Taishan Mansion, he still wanted to take his own wool away. He decided to withdraw first, especially about the issues and things about Taishu. Yeshi's mind was moving very fast, and he quickly thought of a sentence. Forget it, I just wanted to ask Mr. Fu to ask something. Since Mr. Fu has no way to answer, I'll say goodbye. Yeshi cupped his hands perfunctorily, turned around and left gracefully. However, in the live broadcast room, only Yeshi's movements and nothing else could be seen. But because what is happening now is so hilarious, it has blown up many big divers. Netizens who couldn't see Mr. Taishan listened to the broadcast by the big guys, and many netizens couldn't help but burst into laughter at that moment. Lord Taishan was stunned. But our transaction has not yet been carried out. He was really thinking about the suspected divine treasure, so he quickly stopped Yeshi. Yeshi looked at the Taishan Mansion Lord who had transformed from an immortal to a dazed one. He hesitated and said, "That egg is not in my hand. If you really saw the whole picture, you should know that I didn't see anything, and the clone also died in that place." Yeshi looked at his empty hands and the clone that had returned to the biological composite ore, and realized that he was not lying, but telling the truth. As he spoke every word, Lord Taishan couldn't hide his desire to knife the man in his eyes. However, looking at Mr. Taishan's unfriendly expression, Yeshi continued. "Besides, even if it's on me, I won't trade with you. As an explorer, I prefer to collect these novel things. Although I don't know what the eggs you are talking about are, but for a Taishan Mansion Lord like you to think it is important, eggs must be very meaningful to collect." After he said this, he saw that the face of Lord Taishan suddenly became gloomy. It was really gloomy. Dark clouds began to gather on Mount Tai. Yeshi was already ready for a fight, but he didn't expect that the Taishan Mansion Lord's actions were outrageous. There was no fight or force, but strangely, they just chose to take Yeshi away out of anger. The wide sleeves were thrown, and the lord of the mansion did not want to talk to Yeshi anymore. This was the first time he did this, and it was also the last time. Taishan disappeared directly, and Yeshi also disappeared directly. When he appeared again, he appeared at the foot of Taishan. And looking up from the foot of Taishan, the appearance was exactly the same as what mortals saw. All the special scenes in the past disappeared and never appeared again. The mountain god and the land god were waiting for Yeshi at the foot of Taishan, and they were quite surprised to see Yeshi suddenly appear. "What happened, Why did Brother Ye disappear all of a sudden? Where is my invisible Lord of Taishan? I still want to see what he looks like. Lord of Taishan does not want to see you, and hits you with a 7-injury punch. Yeshi. He stood there and looked at Taishan, then left. This Lord of Taishan is really interesting. Not necessarily a good person, but definitely a good god. No wonder you asked me to ask him, land god. Yeshi looked down at the land god and said so.